Welcome back. I'm Pauline Chu in Hong Kong, and you're watching World Business Today. In the far reaches of the Himalayas in northern Pakistan, the elusive snow leopard is on the critically endangered list. It's estimated only about 50 roam the area. The mythical cat may not seem like a typical subject for an economist to study, but we're not talking about any economist. Shafqat Hussain started a creative livestock insurance program to save the snow leopard. He's an economist and an anthropologist from Trinity College in Connecticut in the United States. He joins us live from New York right now. Professor Hussain, thanks so much for joining us. This is a fascinating topic. You're originally from Pakistan, and several years ago you were visiting some of the remote villages in the Baltistan region of northern Pakistan. What did you see that gave you this idea to save the snow leopard?
Thank you for having me on the show, Pauline. In the early 90s, I used to work for an economic development project in that part of Pakistan. And I would frequently come in contact with the communities and ask what are their problems, what are the issues that they're dealing with. And one of the issues they always brought up was the depredation of snow leopards and the loss of livestock to snow leopard. And as an economic development project, we could not address it because it was more a wildlife-human conflict. So that what sort of gave me the idea to start a program which would address the problems of the farmer.
So were you seeing that the farmers were killing snow leopards because the snow leopards would come at night and eat their goats and sheep, and this was really their only way of surviving is to kill the predator?
Exactly, and that was the problem. And it was a difficult situation for both the wildlife conservationists and the villagers, because villagers, for them the rational strategy was to eliminate this threat from their environment. But for the conservationists who want to see these species thrive, and the project that we came up with, ensuring the livestock of the farmers so that they do not have any incentive to kill the snow leopard, was the one which addressed this conflict.
So Professor Hussain, as we're chatting, we're looking at video of a snow leopard that looks like he's trapped in one of the farmer's pen. As we look at more pictures and video, explain how this insurance program works, because it's quite creative and fairly simple.
Yes, the way it works is that we go to a village. We first of all have to explain the modalities of the project to the villagers, and then we ask them if they are willing to address this problem collectively. And we ask them to pay in a premium per head of livestock into a fund which they manage themselves. And then we get money from ecotourism, or at least we used to get money from ecotourism, which subsidizes the insurance premium. And if there is a kill from snow leopard, then the villagers themselves verify it and they pay out the compensation themselves. So it's a very cost-effective scheme which is managed totally by the villagers, and one of the advantages of such a scheme is that it decreases the chances of fraudulent claims by the villagers, because they all are watching each other.
Professor Hussain, this region is very poor, and you're talking about rural farmers, goat herders and sheep farmers who don't have a lot of money. So I'm curious to know how you actually convince them to part with their money and pay premiums per head of sheep or per goat.
You're absolutely right. They are very, very poor people, and the premium, if you get any sense how costly it is, it's about a quarter a year per goat. But even that is sort of out of reach for many farmers. But one of the ways in which we try to convince them is that it's not only that we compensate for their losses of livestock from snow leopard predation, but also we generate extra money from donors like Rolex Award and Snow Leopard Conservancy, which give us money to finance and fund these schemes. So we channel some of the money into small-scale community development projects such as schools, road, water supply schemes. So it gives them an added incentive to participate in this project.
And I understand that this project has spread to 10 different villages in Pakistan. Professor Shafqat Hussain, an economist and anthropologist at Trinity College in Connecticut and the founder of Project Snow Leopard. It's a fascinating, fascinating business model. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
In other news now, the financial crisis has left many businessmen on edge. One Austrian artist is taking that literally with a life-size art installation, forcing onlookers to ask the question, will he jump? Our Rosemary Church has more.
A man stands on the ledge of a 4-story building in Vienna. A crowd gathers below. In these dire economic times, an entirely believable scenario. So, will he jump? Not a chance. He can't. This smart businessman clutching a briefcase isn't even human. It's actually a life-size plastic art installation. Called Reason to Believe, the Austrian artist Ronald Kodrich says it's not about suicide, it's about having a different perspective and thinking about what's going through this man's mind. Some mixed thoughts from the crowd below.
To me, it looks like a man about to commit suicide.
I believe it's the financial and economic crisis touching everybody. A broker wants to jump. The financial business is brutal.
Na, finde ich gut. Yes, I think it's good. It gives you something to think about.
Like it or not, the edgy businessman will continue to stand watch over this investment company building for the next year. The message he's sending? Well, that's entirely up to you. Rosemary Church, CNN, Atlanta.
It's provocative for sure. Well, that is all for World Business Today. Thank you for watching. I'm Pauline Chu in Hong Kong, and World Sport is up next.